and welcome to another episode of Blossom Sandwich Sews. My name is Yvette and it is so lovely to have you here. Welcome to my channel if this is your first video, and if you've seen a few, welcome back, and if you've subscribed or left a comment, thank you so much. I'm not very good at remembering to say please subscribe and comment, but everyone who has already, thank you so much. It's just so good to have you here. So today, my video, I'm going to talk about sewing challenges on Instagram, because for me, they're like a really good way to get involved in the Instagram sewing community, and also just to help with sewing plans and deciding what to make and having a kind of deadline, but it's not really any pressure because not necessarily anyone knows you're going to join in with the challenge. But then you can post, and often the challenges have like a specific hashtag which is searchable, so then you can see all the other people who've joined in the same challenge with you. So it's a good way to find new people to follow as well, and it's always just interesting to see how people interpret the same challenge prompt slightly differently. So that's what I'm going to be chatting about today. So I'm going to start with just a brief introduction to the Instagram sewing community, because I don't know if everyone is active on Instagram, and if you're not interested, that's fine, but just so you have a bit of context with what I'm on about today. So on Instagram, I found it actually a really encouraging community of lots of people sewing. Originally it sort of seemed like a bit of a niche hobby that people, I don't know, I think sometimes people are like, oh, sewing's a bit old-fashioned, who does that anymore? But actually there's so many sewists out there, and all sewing amazing things, so it's so good for inspiration and just meeting people with the same hobby as you. So there are community pages and hashtags to follow that can help you get started with the sewing community. So my top tip for finding out about challenges and getting involved in the sewing community as a whole is to follow the account at sewover50. So this account is just so valuable to follow. I'd say especially if you're under 50, because it's really important to have a diverse feed, and the admins at sewover50 are such great advocates for making sure the people representing new patterns are not all under 20, and you need to have a diverse range of people showing off products just because it's a diverse range of people that are going to be making them. So I think that's their whole thing is just so great, and it's a really really well run page, and they share everyone who uses the hashtag. But another thing that they do is that they share they collect up all the challenges and share them in a highlight on their stories. So I'm going to try and put in a screen capture. I haven't done this before, so we'll see if that works, to show you where to find them. So on their page, just before the post starts, there is little circles which are highlights that you can save of things that you share in stories. So if you ever discover a new sewing challenge, it's worth sharing it in your stories and tagging at sewover50. And if they haven't seen it before, they'll add it to their highlight, and then that lets more people know about it. And the more people that get involved in challenges, the more fun it is, really, because the more posts then you get to see and more people you're able to meet. Another thing I do with challenges is I save them. So there's a feature on Instagram which is it looks like a little bookmark in I think it's the bottom right corner. So if you're just scrolling your feed and you see a challenge that sparks your interest, you can save it and make a collection that's sewing challenges. Because sometimes I'll see a challenge, a new one that's come out, and be like, oh, I don't really know if I've got anything to share for that. But then later I'll get an idea, or I will realise it fits in with a different project I was already planning. And then I can save it and go back to it, because it can be really difficult to find things on Instagram if you've seen them before, because you'd have to scroll back, and if you don't remember who posted it originally, so it's really good to save it. And I use that as well, just for saving things that inspire me that I see generally as well, so that I can find them again. So those are my top tips for finding out about challenges and remembering about them, because I don't tend to make a lot of things like just for a challenge, but often because there's always so many challenges going on, you can fit it in sometimes with something you're already making. And also a lot of challenges, you don't actually have to make something new, you can just share a new post about it. So it's really good to get involved with. And there's often also prizes available, so a lot of the small businesses in the sewing community are quite involved in the Instagram community as well, and they will often offer a prize. So sometimes that's done by a random draw, or sometimes the organisers pick their favourites, and you can be in with a chance of winning a prize from a great small business. So they're really worthwhile to get involved with, and not that much effort if you're already posting things on Instagram anyway. You just add to the caption, "This is my entry for this challenge hosted by this person." So they're really great. I think I've rambled on enough now, and you hopefully know what I'm on about. So another thing you can do is start your own challenge. Like, there's no, there's the Instagram community is very like collaborative, like anyone can do anything and people will join in, if that makes sense. So it's not just like, these people are the creators and everyone else just follows in. Like, if if you feel like you want to start a challenge, like, obviously you don't have to do anything, but it's a good place to say, this is something that I'm interested in, do you want to join in? So in April, I kind of on a whim started this challenge called Fruit Salad Sewing. So that was the name of the hashtag, and the brief was basically just within the month of April, I think it was, to sew something with like a fruity theme. So a lot of fruity fabrics in that challenge. So basically I ended up starting that just because I had some fabric with strawberries on that I wanted to make something with. And a few of my friends that I chat to on Instagram, they also had fruity fabrics that they were feeling inspired by. So they were like, well, let's make it a challenge. And then quite a few people joined in. So that was really fun. And I ended up making a Bakerloo blouse with my red fabric, which was really fun. So there's always so many challenges going on. And do just like drop me a message or something if starting a challenge is something that you're interested in, because that is a really great way to like engage with the community as well. So currently I'm also running a new challenge called Seventies. So it's actually already been running a month. So we started in June and it's running June, July, August. So I'm co-hosting that with Georgie, who's at Hey So Georgie on Instagram. And basically we were both chatting about how we've been really inspired by all the sort of funky 70s prints that are about at the moment. And then it kind of came in the same way as the fruit challenge, like, oh yeah, we want to do this, let's make it a challenge and see if anyone else is interested. So it's been really popular. For the first month of June we had over 150 entries, which was amazing. And we've got quite a lot of sponsors as well from like loads of small businesses, so that's been great. So I'm going to I should probably tell you about the challenge first. So it's the hashtag is just sewseventies written out in words. So if you make anything, or you don't even have to make something new, you can wear something you've already made if it fits the sort of 70s theme, or even if you have something that you can like style up a bit more 70s. I don't know, maybe with like a headscarf or some chunky boots, or anything really, you can add it to the challenge. And then you can be in with a chance of winning one of our prizes, and we have loads of prizes, so I'd say the chances are fairly high at this stage. There's more details on my post on my grid as well, so I'll link that down below. So I actually haven't got around to making anything for Seventies yet, because of being distracted by other projects, and also think weekends are getting a bit more busy now. It's not just sewing time all the time. So I am going to show you some of my fabric picks and what I would hopefully get around to making some of them for the Seventies challenge. So because it's this one is like running over 3 months, there's like less pressure to make something quickly. If you've got an idea, you can make it at some point. So I'm going to show you my fabrics and my ideas, and then I'll try and list off all of our sponsors. Yeah, so some of these fabrics you will have seen if you've watched my stash tour video where I show you all the fabrics in my stash. But if you haven't seen them, I'll show you them now, and maybe you can go back and watch them if you're interested. So this is a viscose twill from Sew Sunshine. So now I think I've pretty much decided that I'm going to make these into some Winslow culottes, probably like the full length ones for like a sort of 70s palazzo pant vibe, and I think the print is quite bold. I think this black outline on bold florals strikes me as quite like a retro design. Yeah, I'm not like, it's not going to be like a strictly administrated challenge. Like, I am not an expert in what is 70s and not. So yeah, if you've got something that you feel like fits the vibe, then just go for it. Like, no one's gonna be like, oh, that's wrong. But this is what I am thinking now, because it's dark and opaque, and where it's the twill weave, it's like slightly heavier. So I think this will be great for like bottom weight fabric. So that's what I'm thinking to do with that. And I think the Winslow's, I'm going to do the elastic back hack as well to make them like extra comfy so I can eat a lot and not have to worry about them not fitting anymore. So that I think these would be quite a quick sew when I eventually get round to it. So that will be fun. And then next up is this fabric, which I included because I feel like with the colours and the like bold print is quite 70s, but I don't know if I will actually make this, you know, whilst the Sew 70s challenge is running. Just because I think this is going to be potentially part of my autumn-winter collection. Oh, I feel so fancy saying collection. But yeah, I'm going to try and do a few makes that kind of go together for autumn-winter and have like a bit more of a focused idea of what I'm doing, because usually I don't know what I'm playing at, I'm just doing random stuff. So this is a viscose rayon from Hey Sew Sister. So I'm thinking of making some kind of dress with this. So originally I was thinking wilder, but then I'm not sure about all of the seams that will be on the front, because there's a seam up the front and then raglan sleeves. So I don't know if that's going to cut up the design too much on the front. So I might do like an indigo hack maybe with like a sort of cut out and ties, kind of like on the Megan Nielsen Sudley, I think it is, or the spring dress, which I think is Nina Lee pattern. That's a free one, which has been popular, but I might try and just do my own hack of it because money saving. And then next up is this absolutely incredible Cloud9 print. So this was in my stash tour as well. This is also from Hey Sew Sister. So I really would like to make the Pattern Fantastique Valley top, or maybe the dress. So I bought this fabric and then I bought another meter. So now I have 2 meters. So I don't know, I probably won't be enough for a dress unless I make a really mini dress, because I think the sleeves will probably need quite a lot of fabric. But yeah, I haven't tried that out yet. I think I will probably use some other fabric first on the Valley just to test it out. I don't think fitting will be an issue because it is quite wide, you know, quite loose and flowy. But sometimes I have fitting issues like with the bust because I'm quite short. So sometimes there's like extra fabric in here. So I might have to do some adjustments, and this fabric was quite expensive and I really like it. So I don't want to ruin it. I don't know if anyone else feels like that. And then next up is this fabric, which wasn't in my stash tour video because I naughtily bought it afterwards. So this is a, it's like a viscose like jacquard. It's got a kind of textured weave in it, but I don't know if that will show up. But the colours are absolutely stunning. I think I said in my stash tour, I've got really into like orange. I'm just really like drawn to it at the moment. Like I've never really worn orange. This one also kind of breaks my blue ban because it's got like a navy background, but I didn't even notice the navy background when I ordered it, because I was mostly obsessed with the colours of the rest of it. So I'm going to let myself off for that. So for those of you who don't know, I did a challenge where I wore 100 different outfits over 100 days, and I figured out that I wear just like mostly only blue. So I'm challenging myself to buy different coloured fabrics to experiment more with colour in my wardrobe. But yeah, I think this is still like different enough from just wearing blue all the time. I'm even wearing blue now. Yeah, so I'm planning with this a Fibre Mood Marion dress, because it's quite simple, the shape of it and everything. But I think it will really show off this amazing print. So yeah, that is something that I also am planning, but won't get around to. And then the last fabric that I've pulled out as being potentially Seventies is this stripy jersey from Hey Sew Sister. So what I'm thinking of doing is making a ringer t-shirt. So the only reason I haven't got around to this is because I'm looking for the perfect ribbing. And I think I might have found some from one of our sponsors actually, called the Sewist Fabric Shop. So they stock a great range of like plain fabrics. And I feel like that's kind of exactly the kind of shop that I need, because I'm always buying prints. If you watched my stash tour videos, it's like prints, and then like 2 plains that I basically just have. The only reason I haven't sewn them is because I'm afraid to make trousers. So they have loads of colours of ribbing, which is amazing, for jersey. So I want to get like a grey ribbing to go with this, and I think the darker colour will make the like ringer, like neckband and arm cuffs really stand out. So I think I'm going to order that from the Sewist Fabric Shop. Yeah, so if you haven't heard of them as well, definitely check them out. I'll leave a link below, because they're one of our sponsors for July. Yeah, so one of our winners actually from June is Marie at Sew Disorganised, and she has made a stripy ringer tee, and she's also made a new one that's a Moomin ringer tee. So those are really inspiring me to get on with the ringer tee look, because I think that's like, it's kind of 70s with the stripes and the ringer, but it's also very like just wearable for like normal times. It's not going to be super extra like my giant Winslow culottes that I've got in mind. Yeah, so those are my plans. If you've got like a favourite that you're thinking, yeah, you really need to sew this up before like your own challenge ends, and you've really like let us all down by not making anything at all, yeah, let me know what you think would be fun to see from my ideas. All right, let's try and do all of these sponsors for #sewseventies. So I'm going to have to read them out because I don't think I can remember them all off the top of my head, and I might try and get them all to like appear like on the gadget show prizes, because like literally that's how many there are. So let's go. So we've got The Rag Shop, Pigeon Wishes Buttons, Cocoa Patterns, By Graziella, Fabric Corner Lincoln, So Totally Me, Sew Me Sunshine, Fleur et Ours, In a Haystack, The Sewist Fabric Shop, Little Rosy Cheeks, Hey Sew Sister, Pink Coat Club, Sew, Stitch and Ink Fabrics, and So Confident. So I think that's all of them. But yeah, we're so grateful, Georgie and I, for all of our amazing sponsors. And it just makes the challenge a little extra fun when you know that you could be in with a chance of winning a prize. So yeah, I hope you'll get involved if you are interested in sewing 70s styles or patterns or fabrics. Yeah, so that's the Sew 70s challenge. And then I thought I'd also, while I'm doing this video, if you're not fed up with me by now, just tell you about a few other challenges that I'm planning / hoping to join in with, because there's so many great people out there on Instagram starting up challenges, and you know, working to inspire everyone in the community, and I really enjoy just joining in with them personally. So the first one to talk about is #sewthesea, which is hosted by Grace at Made in Maida. And So it's a month-long challenge, I think, through July, and you you can make, there's a different theme for each week. So I'll put up a post about what all the themes are, and then I thought I'll just show you my sort of sea themed makes that I already have, because I don't think I'll have time to sew anything specifically for this challenge this month, but I will probably do some posts. So I've already done one post, which was my Gilbert dress. So the first one is this Gilbert top that I've hacked into a dress with a gathered skirt hack. So there's actually a really great tutorial on how to do that by Sam, who is at Purple Sewing Cloud on Instagram, that she's made for the Helen's Closet blog. So I'll try and put a link of that down below. And yeah, it's quite easy really. And I've done this hack actually on loads of like top patterns to make them a dress. So you just crop the shirt to your waist, and then you just get a rectangle and then gather it and sew it on. So I just did it in like side seam pockets, but on the tutorial there's actually how to do you know, pockets, I don't know what they're called, but you know, like that with the cutout, so they're easier to find and get your hand in. So for this I've used a wave cotton, I think it's a Little Johnny from Hey Sew Sister, and like a sort of shell shiny mother of pearl type button, and then I've used like a grey thread, like a light grey for top stitching, because I thought that it looked better against the fabric than white, because these wave bits are not fully white. But I thought this would be perfect for week 1, which was make some waves, because literally this is waves, and I love this dress. I wear it all the time. And yeah, so I was hoping, so originally during one of the lockdowns, when I first made this dress, there was another challenge going on that was dress like a chameleon or something. So because I couldn't leave the house, I just found some photos that I'd taken of British beaches like in the past, and like edited myself crudely onto the picture to look like I was on the beach. So I was hoping to recreate those pictures actually going to the beach, because I had plans to go to Brighton, but then one of my friends had a notification from Track and Trace and I couldn't go. So yeah, so then I was like, well, I still want to post, so I'm gonna redo my edit, but then I ended up making it even crazier, so I'll try and put that in. So this is me wearing my wave dress with my yellow raincoat for maximum fisherman vibes, and then a huge whale in the background. So now that's on my grid, just being a huge whale, crazying up a bit. So that was fun. And then what else? I've got this that I think will be great for the II Sailor Week, because it's got these little sailing boats on. So this fabric is a viscose from the rag shop, which I bought quite a while ago. And then these red buttons I thought would be quite good for like a more nautical theme. So the buttons were from, I think, an Etsy shop called Tote Bag, and they're all handmade. Yeah, I even like got some red thread to sew them on, which I was pretty pleased with. So this was my first ever Norma blouse that I made. So it was a bit of a struggle making it, because I found that I had my usual issue with there being too much room here, and I also found the V quite low, so I ended up taking it up at the shoulders, but that meant that I had to unpick all of the facing to redo it, if that makes sense. So the Norma doesn't have any darts, so yeah, it's easier in that way, but then yeah, I did have to make a few adjustments just to get it fitting properly, and I had to grade out a bit towards the waist. And on Fibre Move patterns, if you buy the PDFs, they come with a 1 centimetre seam allowance, so there's not a lot of wiggle room if you decide you want them a little bit bigger. So yeah, I don't know, that I'm just showing you this, I might not even get around to posting it, but that's another thing that I thought fits in with the Sew the Sea theme. And then another one is this one, which is very sea themed. So I think I wore this in one of my previous videos, maybe sewing origin stories one, where I talk about how and when I started sewing. So this fabric was from Lamazi Fabrics, and it is, I just love this dress so much. It's so comfy and such a soft and nice fabric. So yeah, I'd love to share that. Maybe I will try again to go and get a beach picture. We'll see. So yeah, and then also this one that I'm wearing at the moment, this is an Ashton top by Helen's Closet. So I don't know if this would have counted for week 2, which was shell, yeah, the theme. So I don't know if these kind of look a bit like shells maybe. So this was like a slightly, like a really small remnant piece that I had left over from making like some tote bags for friends. So I made so many tote bags when I first started learning how to sew. And then it turned out that I just hadn't made, still don't have a tote bag that I've made for myself because I made them all as gifts. But that's a really good like beginner project, making tote bags, that I really enjoyed. Okay, so that is Sew the Sea. So I'll try and link that down as well if you're interested in sea themed. I think there'll probably only be like a week and a half left of that challenge by now, by the time this video goes out. But yeah, definitely worth checking out, and I'm sure you'll find loads of amazing fun makes. The next challenge that I am hoping to join in with this month is the hashtag Sew Recreate the Look. So that's hosted by Jen and Charlene. So I'll link them below in their challenge. So the idea is that you find a garment, like a ready to wear or high fashion or just anything that inspires you, and then you recreate the look. It does what it says on the tin, really. So you just sew something inspired by something else. I feel like I'm just saying the same thing over and over again now. Yeah, so that's like a really fun challenge and quite easy to join in with, I feel, because I think quite often it's easy to see something, be inspired by it and think, oh, well, I could make that, and then you make it. So I'm working on a project for that. So for part of the challenge, you share a different stage of your project each week. So I think week 1 was like share your inspiration, and then week 2 is like share your pattern or something like that. But I'm going to keep mine all of a secret so you can have the suspense on that. And yeah, I'm just going to post mine on reveal day, and I'm also planning to do a blog post about it for the rag shop, because that's where the fabric is from. So the rag shop blog is really great. They just have guest bloggers on. So if you're interested in writing a blog about something or making a specific project for a blog, but you don't want to like run your own blog all the time, it's really worth getting in touch with Steph, and Charlene also works for the rag shop. So they're really helpful, and they've got like a clear guidelines of like what they want from blog post, and they're happy to send you the fabric and will give you a voucher after you've done the blog post as well. So that's quite a good setup if you're interested in like writing occasional blog posts. I'm kind of off on a tangent now. What was I talking about? Yeah, so that's So Create the Look. So recreate the look. And I've seen literally so many like amazing ideas for this already. Even if you don't want to join in a challenge, it's sometimes just worth following the hashtag because there's just so much great stuff on there. Okay, moving on. What else was I going to talk about? Oh yes, so Experimental Sewist, I think it is doing a challenge that is sew 5 then buy. So I'm trying to join in with this because I feel like after doing my stash tour videos and getting out all my fabric and showing it, I was I was thinking beforehand, like, oh, I don't have that like too much fabric and it's all for a project, so it's going to be fine. But now I'm like, okay, judging by how long it takes me to make one thing and how many times I have to do it wrong before I can get anywhere on it, like I've got so many like months worth of projects already. So I do need to kind of crack on with some of those before like buying even more fabric. So I'm going to try and join in this sew 5 then buy. So just sew 5 projects before buying any more fabric. So far I've done 0. I'm still on my work in progress, my super secret project that I'm not going to tell you about yet. So we'll see how that goes. It's going to be hard, I think, like harder than I'd like to admit, because there's just always so many amazing fabrics around, and I think like on social media as well, there's so much temptation. So I'm going to try and be good and try and do that. There is another challenge that I can't remember the hashtag, but it's to use sew 30 yards worth of fabric before buying any more. But I thought that might be a bit too much of a commitment for me. I'll see how this sew 5 challenge goes. Yeah, so I don't know, that might be a fail. I'm not gonna be too strict on it. Like I don't want to have a project that I'm excited about but then not be able to do it because I don't have like the notions. Like I think I'm gonna let myself buy the ribbing for this because I think it will be quite a speedy project and part of the Seventies challenge as well. But I'm gonna try not to buy any more like, you know, lengths / whole project's worth of fabric before I've finished 5 projects. So we'll see how that goes. So you'll have to hold me accountable to that now that I've talked about that. Yeah, so I feel like this is going to end up such a long video. But there's so many Instagram challenges out there all the time to get involved with. So whatever you're interested in sewing, whatever you're, you know, interested in seeing, there's always going to be a challenge somewhere. Like sometimes even worth just like thinking of a hashtag, seeing if it's taken, and you know, it might be already a challenge, or if not, you can always start your own challenge. So yeah, I've really enjoyed being part of the Instagram sewing community. Some challenges are really big and loads of people join in. Some challenges, like they're all different. Some you just post whenever you want. Some have like a theme each week. Some have a prompt every day for like a month. So it just depends like how much you want to get involved. And yeah, it's just about having fun really, isn't it? So I hope you've enjoyed this sort of whistle-stop tour of Instagram challenges. Let me know down below what challenges you've seen and if there's anything you're excited to get involved with. And yeah, please do a like if you enjoyed this video. Do a like, is that what it's called? I don't know, I'm not really used to this. But yeah, thumbs up, is that it? Thumbs up. Subscribe. I'd love to have you around, and leave a comment because I love replying to people in the comments. And yeah, just thanks so much for being here. I've been Blossom Sandwich. I feel like that's a bit newsreadery. Anyway, goodbye. See you around.